Well, last week, NCTV 17's executive director Liz Spencer turned the tables on Becky Anderson to talk about the changing world of books and print. And this week, they continue the conversation in this special edition of Authors Revealed.
You and I have had lots of conversations, and you had compared a little bit of the online sales of books to records and to iTunes, and reminded me that we once had record shops down here in Naperville, and we no longer do.
Yeah.
Books could go that way too.
Well, I think that's probably the worry of some of the publishing world, that they're worried about, because when you think about the music industry, back in 2000, I think music sales in the U.S. were over $700 million. Today, they're way less than half of that. And that's talking about what iTunes. So with the advent of iTunes and what it did, it pretty much, when you could download a piece of music, it kind of made record stores just disappear. Those brick and mortar shops where you could go and browse, look at album covers, look at CD covers, that experience totally disappeared because people were going online. So people were not supporting the brick and mortar stores for music. And that's what we worry about in bookstores, because it's a different product altogether. Music, you can see going that way because just of the format. It's listening to something. But with a book, it's more of a physical experience that you have with the actual literature. They find in most studies that the discovery of most books are done in a brick and mortar store, a physical space, and sometimes in libraries. People find books and then will purchase books from discovering them in a library. You cannot replicate that experience online. People will find books in a physical space and then go online and buy it digitally. So it's just not the same experience. And the publishing world is very afraid that the brick and mortar stores will go away, and a big showroom that they depend on for people to discover books. They may be looking for something, but most of those experiences when they buy a book are totally unplanned. So if you lose a brick and mortar place, you lose that place of discovery.
So how does, an independent like yourself, or even a Barnes & Noble, a big chain, combat this?
We're the ones are the tastemakers. We're the ones who read these books long before they're out, and we can tell you that this book is great, so pay attention. And that's what we do in our stores, by our displays, by the way our booksellers talk to readers that walk in the door, because we can find that perfect book for that right reader, no matter what the age. So that place of discovery in having that interaction with an actual bookseller, and then maybe you can go online, but we can help you find that right book, where a lot of other websites and other ways of discovering books just can't compare. No matter what kind of business, if you're local, you're independent, you are here, but every dollar you spend, you are supporting your community, because so much more of that money stays to support our community in so many different ways.
Becky, thanks so much for the inside view of the book industry and where it's going. Exciting to know that we have a local expert with her finger on the pulse.
Thank you, Liz. It's been great talking.
Becky's going to be back with more Authors Revealed next week. Back to you, Dolly.